All right, everybody. I'm glad that you are here. It is my name is Ron Deering, and I'm coming to you from my home office in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And today I have an amazing special guest that's joining us. I met Chris probably a year ago at our 2018 convention, and I remember seeing him come up on the stage, this bigger than life Idaho cowboy, and I don't know how many other people from Idaho were at our convention that year, but I'm pretty sure it was probably just me and him. But there might have been some other people there. But Idaho is kind of a big state, but it's very spread out and very country. And the next time we caught up was at one of our road shows, and I was on two of the road shows. I was honored to be on the success panels, and since then we've become good friends. And he's someone that, for me, you meet a lot of people over a career. I've been doing network marketing for 40 plus years, and I've met a lot of people, but there are those people that really stand out because they are the real deal. They're that person that when they say, I want to help people, I want to get out there and touch people's lives. This is where Chris Robinson is. He's that guy that's just down to earth. Everybody relates to him. We call him the cannabis cowboy for a good reason. And he's just somebody that I was able to relate to because there was nothing phony about him. It's just, he's someone that really wants to help people and has done an amazing job at creating a business and creating a legacy for his family and for our company too. And we're not going to really talk too much about our company at all tonight, but I want to get Chris to give you his input into what makes a seven-figure and what makes a millionaire. And so, Chris, thank you for joining me this evening and our audience. And kind of the first question, I've got three questions I want to ask you. And the first question is, what took you away from the normal career path that most of us go down, right? Getting a job, maybe working on the ranch and so forth, and getting into this path of network marketing and making a career out of it?
That's a really interesting question. Before I answer that, I just want to say thanks to you, Ron, for your friendship. Thanks to you for your mentorship, and thanks to you for being a good friend and a humble person as well, and for doing all the things you're doing inside this industry, helping as many people as you are. So, as a fellow Idahoan to another one, thank you so much for being you, and thanks again for having me on. So, to answer your question about what got me on the network marketing path, well, first of all, I grew up in a network marketing home. Like, there was whiteboards every Wednesday night in the house, guys with suit and ties. Sometimes it was just my family and them. Other times people would show up. And I grew up with the stigma that I didn't want anything to do with it. And I avoided it like the plague for the first part of my life. I dropped out of high school when I was 15 years old. I went to work for my father. By the time I was 19 years old, I was married with two kids, and I decided that's where my entrepreneurship journey started, was right there. My one daughter, it was her birthday. She was turning 2 years old. I was working a night shift job. It was 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and my wife called me from her mother's house and said, "Hey, we got you on speaker. Let's sing happy birthday to JC." And I said, "Don't sing that song. I'm going to be there in a minute." And I walked over and I punched the time clock and I said, "I'll never touch one of these again as long as I live." And I showed up to the birthday party. I was making $9 an hour, so you can imagine that I literally needed that money that I walked. We were living day, not even paycheck to paycheck. We was living hour to hour. And I showed up, and my wife freaked out a little bit. And then I decided I was going to start my own construction company. And so the first part of my entrepreneurship journey was all in construction. And what got me to network marketing is this. By the time I was 23, 24 years old, I had 30 to 40 employees. I was building 40 to 50 homes a year. We were doing most of it in-house, from the concrete to the framing to the roofing and the finish work. And I was making pretty good money at the time. I thought, for a 24-year-old guy, $200,000 or $300,000 a year, I've arrived to the American dream, right? I was excited. And I could go on vacation if I wanted to go on vacation. I could do anything I wanted to do, but I had to do it alone. None of my friends, nobody around me could do it. They had to go to work. They had to make sure that they couldn't take a week off on the spur of the moment. And so when I got reintroduced, I was the guy who had the nice house. I was in the family. And when my siblings would do network marketing home meetings, I'd borrow my house and I wouldn't attend the meeting. I'd just say, oh, you can use my living room, and I wouldn't stick around. And then the right person at the right time, without going into a big long story, got me introduced to a company that was just launching and different things. And I got excited. And I remember sitting there going, maybe this is the answer to being able to elevate others around me rather than just me. And maybe I won't have to, if I get all my friends and family doing this, I won't have to pick up the tabs at dinner or the family vacation. We can all just go together and nobody will care. And so I dove in. The first thing I did was signed up every one of my brothers, my sister, my mom, my dad, and we all started crushing it. We did well. And, I was in that business for like maybe 3 or 4 months, and I was sitting on the advisory council of the company. I was one of the top earners in the company, and my network marketing career started. And I just stuck with it. And the thing that drives me the most with this industry, with network marketing, home-based business, direct sales, is the fact that it's a level playing field, and the average person can succeed to whatever they want to succeed to. Yeah. And it's up to them. That's the best thing and the worst thing about this industry is it's up to you. It's up to the person. It's up to what, are you looking to make $200 extra a month? Are you looking to make $200,000 extra a month? It's all possible. It's just a matter of what you want to do and where you're at, but you have to be committed. You have to be able to have the drive and the self-motivation. That the best thing about this industry is you're your own boss. The worst thing about this industry is you're your own boss. And so that's what really got me passionate about the industry. I started seeing people around me win. I started seeing them achieve what I was achieving. And the startup to get into this industry, the investment is pennies. It's somewhere between $0 and $1,000 for most companies. Some companies are in the middle there somewhere. But to be able to start a business that you can literally start for a few $100s and make limitless and unlimited amount of money, that's just crazy. I remember building homes the first 2 years I was in business, not making any money. I'd barely be able to eat and pay the $400 rent and the different things. And I had to do that for 2 years. This industry, you can literally come in and make a full-time income starting tonight, especially now with where we're all sitting. So that's what got me excited about the industry. And honestly, that's the same reason I'm still here.
Well, one of the things, and that story is just, it is so like, what most people that get involved, they're in a situation where they're lacking in some area, right? They're lacking in time freedom or financial freedom. There's just something there. And for me, it was kind of the same thing back in the 70s when I was in the military. I needed to supplement my income. And somebody told me about an industry that I could have success by helping others have success. And wow, it blew me away. And this industry of network marketing, so many people don't understand the power. And when you mentioned on a level playing field, if you're working a job right now, if you're working for corporate America, there's a hierarchy, right? When you get in there, you're out the employee, maybe you're middle level management, maybe you're a VP, maybe you're the CEO, but I guarantee you each one of those people have a different pay scale. The good news with us is when we get in network marketing, when we get into our company or any other company, right? Everybody's got the same comp plan. And that's what makes that level playing field. One of the things that I've had a lot of people ask me in the last few months is what makes people different? What makes this guy? What makes this gal? What makes this person over here a millionaire? And this person over here, not a millionaire. And so one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Chris, is what makes you a millionaire? Over me, over Joe, over Jan, over Sam, over Pete. What gives you that extra that people need to hear about so that they can implement that? If that makes sense.
Well, it's actually a pretty simple answer. It's belief, it's commitment, and the big one, it's consistency. If you can create massive action for long enough, you will become a millionaire in this industry. And really, in any industry for that matter, this one just happens to be easier to do than most. So if you believe in what you're doing and you are committed to the process, not committed to the money, committed to the process to get to the money, and you do, if you act consistent for long enough, there's no way you can fail. And this is what I love most about this industry, is there is no such thing as failing. You either win or you quit. That's it. There's nobody that ever failed that didn't quit first. So as long as you're consistent long enough, you're going to win. And that's the difference between the people that make 6, 7, 8, 9 figures in this industry and those that don't. I started in 2008. I've been here a long time, and I was consistent. I built relationships. I built teams. I mentored. And, my favorite little thing I do in trainings about the way network marketing is compared to the current world and why people don't make it is when we're born and we first hit kindergarten at 5 years old, we're programmed to go to school, get an education, get a job that pays 6 figures a year. You go to work, you get paid. You go to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you get a check. You go to work, you get a check. You go to work, you get a check. So that's all we know. Yep. Then you get in this industry, and it's completely different because, you right now in typical corporate roles, at corporate America at least anyways, is you work for 40 years, then you retire on 40% of what you really couldn't live on in the first place. And that's the way the model's set up as. Not knocking it. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some, but it doesn't work for most. And so we're programmed, go to work, get a check, go to work, get a check. So people get into network marketing with this dream of getting rich, or at least success of some point, and they come in and they go to work and they may not get that check. They go to work Monday and no check comes in Friday, and that's never happened to them in their life. And for those of you that's watching this, let me ask you, if payday at your job came around on tomorrow on Friday and it didn't show up, honestly, how many of you would show back up to work on Monday? What if it didn't show up the next Friday? Some of you are loyal. How loyal are you? Would you show up the next Friday or the next Monday? What if you missed 3 or 4 checks? You still going to show up? The answer is no. So that's how we're programmed. So instead of work, check for our whole life, network marketing flips it on its head, and it's actually a 5-year plan for freedom. But more often than not, some people do come in, they make a $10,000 their first month or their first week, but that's not industry standard. You have to be prepared to do work, then check. But if you can stay consistent like I was talking about, it'll start going work, check, work, check. Then the magic happens. Then pretty soon you're going to find yourself getting check work, check work, check work, check. So you have to be mentally prepared for what you're embarking on if you're going to succeed. And that's where a lot of people don't make it in this industry, is their mindset isn't appropriate from the day they start. And if people start with the appropriate mindset from day one, their success rate's going to triple.
So, for those of you who are listening to this, and I would encourage you guys, start watch parties, share this out, and make sure that your team is watching this, because here's a gentleman that is been in this industry since 2008, right? And he's a 7-figure earner. We were honored and blessed to see him inducted into our 7-figure club at the last convention in that, and he's making $1 million a year. I didn't hear him say anything about you got to go to college. I didn't hear him say anything about you've got to be, have a 4.0. You've got to have a lot of money. You've got to have that. He mentioned really one thing. He mentioned a couple of things, consistency, commitment, and all, but it really came down to what he said at the end. Mindset, right? If you've got the right mindset, if you take your mind and your belief levels and do what you need to do and put them in the right perspective, you're going to have success. And I would totally agree, Chris, that I've seen so many people over the years that you would look at and say, how did that person ever get to be a 6 or 7 figure earner? Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I have people looking at me all the time and they call me Papa Ron on the team and stuff. And it's like, how did this old Santa Claus looking guy ever get to be a 6-figure earner? Right. Well, it's all about what's in between the 2 years, right? It's all about 90%. And I think Jenna said this on an interview she had today. It's like 99.9% is mindset. Skill set, anybody can learn. Talent, people have talent every day and don't make it anywhere. So I would totally agree. If you're willing to pay the price, and if you're willing to do the personal development and get your mindset right, and it's an everyday thing. Wouldn't you agree? It's something you got to work on every single day.
Absolutely. And back to your point about why it's different, I wanted to touch on this real quick too, is like you said, you can literally start making money day one if your mindset's correct. And the trainings are there and everything's there. Let me ask you this. For those of you that have a regular job, an 8 to 5, you have a boss of some sort. Maybe you're the CEO of Apple, I don't know. But if you're not, you have a boss. Does your boss show up with you every morning and tell you exactly what you need to do to take his job? Does that happen? Does your manager do that? Does your foreman do that? Does your crewman do that? Does your CEO? No. It's because all the compensation drives behavior. That's why you clock in at 8 and you clock out at 5, because you're compensated to do that. If you're late, you might be penalized. If you clock out early, you might be penalized, get 3 pink slips and you're gone, whatever. This industry is so special because we've figured out that compensating people to help other people win, and the only way you're compensated is if you help others change their lives and make money. Guess what's going to happen? That's what you're going to do on a daily basis. And that's why compensation plans are designed around helping people rank and people get different pinnacles and different things, is because we really get paid. The only way I make a dime is if people I'm working with make money. It's the only way. That's the only thing I have to do is figure out how to help as many people as possible get what they want, and I earn money. Lots of it, if you do it right. That's another reason I completely fell in love with this industry.
Yeah, that was, we all have heard Zig Ziglar's famous saying, right? If you help enough other people get what they want in life, you can have what you want in life. And he meant that no matter if it was network marketing or anything. It's a principle of life. So it is very, very important. So what you all are hearing here is, again, a 7-figure earner that is broken it down into the basics. And, we always say that network marketing is not hard, and it's not. It's difficult for a lot of people because it's a change. It's different than what you're used to doing. Just like you said, we've been brought up and taught. I grew up in the 50s and 60s, and we were taught to get up every morning and go to our job, punch a clock at the end of the day. But in fact, now it's gotten so if you work too long, you're in jeopardy. Right? I was told before I retired that, hey, you clock out at 4 o'clock exactly. Don't go any longer because we don't want anybody coming back and suing us because you stayed here longer and all that. I mean, it's gotten to there's no freedom whatsoever. So, if you're in that position, if you're in that lifestyle right now where you're craving this freedom and the desire to be able to help others and really take advantage of that, then I can tell you that network marketing is without question the best venue that you have. All right. The last question I want to ask you, and in this time, this has got to be the appropriate question, right? And because everybody's wondering about this, because we're going through something that a lot of people have never seen before. We've had viruses come and go, and SARS and MRSA and Ebola and H1N1 and flu and now Corona and all these other things. And these things are going to continue to come and go, and our bodies are going to develop antibodies, and it's going to pass until the next one, right? But right now, this one's hitting really hard, and there are a lot of people that are right now have either been put out of work, they've been laid off, they've been cut back, or they're sitting back wondering, when's the hammer? When's the other shoe going to fall? When am I going to come into work? Idaho, we just found out yesterday that Idaho's now been shut down, right? So we're on lockdown, which is funny because that means, I can't go out and take care of the chickens. I don't know. But anyways,
I was floored. I was shocked when that happened. I'm like, oh, this is serious. Usually I don't think.
Well, and funny story. I was watching your videos, your live a couple of days ago, where you're out with that ornery cow, and running around. I thought, how do you quarantine Chris, right? How do you tell him, he's on lockdown? And for us, we have chickens and stuff and dogs, and what do I do, right? But there are a lot of people out there that are concerned and wondering, and my kids are feeling that right now. We've got 6 kids, and they're all wondering, what's going to go on? What are we going to do? We got kids, we've got responsibilities and everything. So what would you tell somebody at this point that is looking at, what do I do? What are my options? What are some of the best things that I can do? Being in a situation of unrest or just unknowing, of uncertainty.
Well, there's 2 options right now. One, you can sit back and wait and see if your government checks come in, see if we actually pay out 100% unemployment, see if Uncle Sam's going to save the world. Or 2, you can pull your bootstraps up. You can look into something you can do from home, something you can do virtual right now, something you can do while quarantined. You can either adjust with the times or the times are going to adjust you. And right now, you got to figure out how to work from home. Ron and I have been doing this business. Ron's been doing it a hell of a lot longer than I have. But I've had people look at me with crossed eyes because I told them I work from home. Well, guess what? That seems to be the new growing trend. Everybody else is just starting to catch on, right? And here's my prediction. Because of our industry, the network marketing, the direct sales industry, the home-based business industry as a whole, these quarantines are going to start ending. I don't know if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, but there's going to be a whole bunch of people out there that grasp what we're doing, because right now everybody in our industry is on the internet going, hello, we've been telling you this is should have been forever. Now maybe you'll listen, right? But my prediction is there's going to be a whole bunch of people when the quarantines get lifted that found what we're doing. They took action somewhere tonight, right now, and 21 days from now, when the boss calls them and tells them, "Well, get good news, we got to go back to work," they're not going because they've already replaced their income, and they're going to go to the beach instead of to work as soon as you can get on it. That's where I'm headed. When the quarantine lifts, I'm not waiting to get back to work. I'm going on a trip. I canceled 17 flights when they started shutting stuff down 2 weeks ago. That was just for March and April. I left the May ones alone for now because I believe, I'm an optimistic person. I believe everything's going to be just fine. We're going to be rock and roll. But my point is then to answer your question, Ron, and even if it's not this industry, find something you can do that you can control from your house, right? Find something that you're in control of. Like, you're not in control if your boss pulls you in and says, we're shutting down, go home. Start something of your own. Be a trendsetter. Get in front of the curve. You have nothing now for a lot of you that can't work, or for some of you working from home doing your regular job going, man, this is kind of nice. I don't even have underbritches on right now, and I can do whatever I want to do, and I'm working. We've been doing it for decades. Welcome to the club. But find something that you can get passionate about, that you can commit to, and that you feel you can be consistent with for 3 to 5 years and go full force. Success loves speed, and massive action isn't a recommendation. It's a requirement. Go all out. You got not a lot to do right now, but go all out and follow your dreams. Everybody that's going to see this has either achieved some dreams or wants to achieve some. And the best way to do it is to take advantage of this very, very unique time in history. And long term, it's really just a very minuscule piece of history, but it can really change the direction and the rest of your life starting right now. If you got laid off from work or sent home to work and went, oh, thank God I don't got to go to work in the morning, this is for you. If you got to get up in the morning and go to work and you're pissed that your company's still working, this is for you. If you're home with no job wondering, what am I going to do? How am I going to feed the kids? This is for you. You can literally start a business today and get paid next week for it. And some companies right now they've waived the initial enrollment fee. You can do it for free. Right?
Yeah.
So the two biggest reasons right now, people in my lifetime, and this is of tens of thousands of people that I've talked to, if they don't want to join a home-based business, there's two obstacles. The first obstacle is I don't have enough time. Well, problem solved. That's over with. Because it seems to me, by looking at social media, there's a whole bunch of folks with a whole bunch of time right now. And I can tell you, I can sit in my house all day and not get bored. Everybody's trying to figure out what to do. I've had my kids sitting in these corners of this, not behind me, but on my sides of my desk right here for the last 4 days, just listening to what it is I do. And guess what? They're all starting to post on social media, generate income, and it's starting to work for them too. So, you can either lay down and take this and just hope somebody saves you, or you can take control of your own destiny and plug into something you can be passionate about and go crush it. And my guess is you're going to do the latter of the two, because that's just the way the human spirit is. And I hope to see a lot of everybody that's watching this or sees this in the future really take advantage and look. You all know somebody in the home-based business industry. They're the weird ones that's always posting on Facebook. I'm working in my pajamas today. I'm out on the beach with my phone, working from anywhere in the world I want. Get a hold of those people. They have it in their hands. You just need to be open-minded enough to look at it. And when you do look at it, you need to remember that the mind works like a parachute. It only works when it's open. So open your mind. Take a look at something new. You've got plenty of time, plenty of help out there right now in the world. And look, this industry, I believe, this industry right now, you guys understand that every 10 seconds, somebody starts a home-based business. It's probably even faster than that now. So there's a whole bunch of people in our industry. And right now, when I'm scrolling Facebook or social media platforms, I see negative people, and then I see home-based business people. That's it. They're the positive ones. Everybody else the negative ones. My belief is the power of our industry and all the awesome people in it, whether in our company, other companies, just in this industry, is really what's keeping morale and everything up across the globe right now, because we're the people of principle and hope right now. I was just, why companies are closing and going out of business. I was on a call with my great friend and the CEO of our company probably 3 hours ago, and we still have 5 or 6 days left in this month, but he predicts this is going to be the biggest month we've ever had. Besides Zoom, name another company that's doing that. I mean, facts are facts, and like our good friend Robert says, documentation beats conversation, and home-based business is very documented, created more millionaires than any other industry in the world. So now's your time. Take a look at it. And if you want, I'm going to throw a little plug in here. If you want a good one, get a hold of Ron, because he's in a really good company.
Well, and I'm going to throw, we talked about this before we started. I wasn't going to really plug too much, but I'm going to, because the two things that you said were, and I think you said the second one was, people don't have time. And you're right. Thank you, coronavirus. You've given people a lot of time. I mean, I don't mean that meanly, because, hey, I'm the epitome of the high risk group, right? I'm 68 years old. I've had a heart attack. But I guarantee you that there are people out there, just like Chris said, that are sitting back right now wondering. And one of the things that you said earlier is there are people that have, and my kids, 2 or 3 of the kids of my children are working from home now. And every single one of them have said the same thing to me. This is what it's like. This is what it's like to do what you do. Exactly. This is what it's like. And the other thing that Chris was talking about is the other objection is no money. I don't have the money to start. Well, our company right now has waived all that. You can get started for free. You have all the time in the world. We just announced last weekend a ton of new products. And guess what? In 2 days, we're going to be announcing a ton more new products. The company is growing like hotcakes. You need to talk to whoever invited you to watch this. Get back with me, get back with Chris, get back with whoever invited you or share this video with you, because I'm telling you, I totally agree. $189 billion industry, bigger than NFL, music, movies, organic product, whatever you can name. Network marketing is bigger than all of them. And now is the time that so many people that were sitting back before looking at Chris and I and going, yeah, what is it you guys really do? What's, and now they're saying, this is what you do? How do I get in? How do I get in? So those two objections are gone. Those two objections are gone. Time is not an issue anymore because I'm sure most of you got plenty of time, and the money is not an issue. So you need to make a difference. So, Chris, I know we've been on here. I don't know. I can't even see the time. Over about 40 minutes, looks like. Any last words before we close this down?
Yeah, I'll end with this. There's two things going on in the world right now that's big. One is a virus, COVID-19. That's the smaller part of what's going on right now. There's also a plague happening right now, and that plague right now is fear. So you can buy into the fear and let this COVID-19 thing really cause a detriment to not just you, but there's people under your roof that depend on you, right? So if you're not going to pull your bootstraps up for yourself, and I'm not even talking our industry in general, I'm just talking man to man, man to woman, person to person. There's two things that happen in a crisis. Crisis is there's danger and there's also opportunity. You realize that in the Great Depression, the Great Recession, and all the other epidemics that's happened in the world has created more millionaires than times of global economic awesomeness. Because people take advantage of whatever situation they're in. I've learned to take advantage of good times and I've learned to take advantage of bad times. And if you can figure out to do both of those things, guess what that makes you? A millionaire, because you're going to learn how to capitalize on every situation. And right now is a great time to start a business, to start something different, start something new that literally makes you money while you sleep. Warren Buffett says the only way to create wealth is to make money in your sleep. And I don't know of any better way to do it than with what Ron and I do every day for a living right now and for the rest of our lives, really. And I don't get on calls. There's so many people doing calls right now with their friends and family going, what do we do? How do we handle what? And we're on calls every day with the most upbeat, positive people in the world because we know we're going to weather this storm just fine. It isn't going to matter. We've built residual income to pay our residual bills, and it's going to be all right. So my message, final message to everybody out there, don't panic. Everything's going to be fine, but take advantage of the situation because right now there's a lot of huge opportunities out there because there's two things. POUR stands for passing over opportunity repeatedly, and SCAM stands for still confused about money. So get rid of both of those things in your head and go crush it because we're excited about what we're doing. There's no reason you can't wake up tomorrow morning just as excited as Ron and I are. And Ron, thanks for having me on. And for all you seeing this, I wish you nothing but the best. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll definitely see you all at the top because the bottom's way too crowded.
Amen. God bless you, my brother. Thank you so much for being here. Again, everybody, reach out to whoever shared this with you. Don't let this be something that stops you in your track because of the fear. Take the time to look at what we've got. Take a free tour. Check what we're doing out, whether it's our company or any other company out there, but make a decision to do something that's going to change your life. So, Chris, thank you so much. I can't wait to do this again with you sometime soon. And I can't wait to see you at one of the road shows. I know they're going to come back, but
we'll be there. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. God bless.
Have
Bye,
a great
everybody.
night.
Good night.